Daniel, and I had been best friends since the 7th grade. We grew up on the same street, played on the same football team, went to the same college, and stood next to each other at every major moment in our lives. He was the best man at my wedding. He held my hand at my mother's funeral. He was the first person I called when my daughter was born. For 15 years, that man was not just my friend. He was my brother. And my wife, Rachel, she was the love of my life, the woman I chose above everything. I never once imagined I would lose both of them on the same night. Rachel and I had been married for 8 years. We had a daughter named Ava who was 6 years old and completely obsessed with her daddy. Our life was not perfect, but was ours, built with real effort, real sacrifice, and real love. Or at least I thought it was real. Daniel was always around. Family dinners, birthday parties, holiday gatherings. He was part of everything. Rachel always said he was like a brother to her too. They laughed at the same jokes. They had similar tastes in movies. I thought it was beautiful that my wife and my best friend got along so well. I was the biggest fool in the room, and I did not even know it. Our 8th anniversary fell on a Friday. I had planned everything. Restaurant reservation, flowers ordered, babysitter booked for Ava. But my afternoon meeting at work ended 2 hours earlier than expected. I called Rachel to surprise her, tell her I was coming home early so we could get ready together. She did not pick up. I called again. Nothing. I figured she was in the shower or busy with Ava. I stopped at a flower shop, grabbed an extra bouquet, and drove home with a smile on my face, feeling like the luckiest husband alive. That smile was about to be destroyed permanently. I unlocked the front door and immediately noticed Daniel's car parked outside. I thought nothing of it at first. He dropped by unannounced all the time. I walked inside calling Rachel's name. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Ava was not there. The babysitter had already picked her up early. I set the flowers down on the kitchen counter and walked toward the hallway. The bedroom door was half open. I pushed it and stood there completely frozen. Time stopped. My brain refused to process what my eyes were seeing. Daniel, Rachel, in my bedroom, in my bed, on my anniversary night. The two people I trusted most in this entire world. Neither of them heard me come in. For a full 10 seconds, I just stood there in the doorway like a ghost. Then Rachel turned and saw me. The look on her face was not guilt. It was pure terror. Daniel jumped up and started saying my name. I did not say a single word. I turned around, walked back to the kitchen, picked up both flower bouquets I had just bought for my wife, and walked out the front door. I sat in my car in the driveway for 45 minutes, completely unable to move. My hands were on the steering wheel. My eyes were staring at nothing. I was not crying. I was not angry. I was just completely and totally empty. Daniel came outside 20 minutes later. He knocked on my car window. I did not roll it down. He stood there saying my name, saying he was sorry, saying it just happened, saying it meant nothing. I stared straight ahead. After 10 minutes, he got his own car and drove away. Rachel came out next, still in tears, knocking on my window, begging me to come inside and talk. I finally rolled the window down and said 4 words, "Go be with him." Then I started the car and drove away. I drove for 3 hours that night with no destination. Just driving, just breathing, just trying to survive the next 60 seconds at a time. The days that followed were the darkest of my life. Daniel called 47 times in the first week. I know because I counted. I never picked up once. Rachel stayed at her sister's house. Ava kept asking where Mommy was, and every single time she asked, I felt like the ground was swallowing me whole. I had to sit my 6-year-old daughter down and find child-friendly words to explain something that no adult word can even properly describe. Watching her little face try to understand why her family was suddenly broken was a pain that no betrayal, no heartbreak, no personal suffering can come close to matching. What destroyed me most was not losing Rachel. It was losing Daniel. You can fall out of love with a spouse. People do it every day. But a 15-year friendship? That is something different. That is someone who knew every version of you. Someone who was there before the marriage, before the house, before the kids. Losing Daniel meant losing a piece of my own history. Every good memory from the last 15 years was now contaminated. Every inside joke, every road trip, every late night conversation, all of it suddenly felt like evidence of a lie I had been living without knowing it. That kind of loss does not have a name. I filed for divorce 4 months later. Rachel did not fight it. She and Daniel are together now. I heard through mutual friends. Some people in our circle were shocked. Others apparently were not. Turns out other people knew, before I did. That is the part that still stings on quiet nights. Not the betrayal itself, but the idea that I was the last person to know the truth about my own life. I was walking around confident and happy while people around me held a secret about my marriage. Trust after something like that does not just need rebuilding. It needs completely reconstructing from zero. Today I am 2 years out from that anniversary night. Ava lives with me full-time and she is thriving, happy, loud, creative, and completely loved. I have a small apartment that feels more like a home than that big house ever did in its last year. I have a therapist I trust, a gym routine that keeps me sane, and 2 or 3 real friends who prove their loyalty when everything fell apart. I have not spoken to Daniel once in 2 years, and I do not plan to. Some doors you close not out of anger, but out of self-respect. I lost a wife and a best friend on the same night, but I found something neither of them could ever take away. I found out exactly who I am when everything is gone.